Imagine thinking you've found the one, only to discover you're the mark in a calculated scam. Jake, a hardworking coder, thought he was winning Maria's heart, until her friend's dinner revealed a shocking truth. A $1,500 bill, a test he was meant to fail, and a betrayal that sparked a clever, legal revenge. Buckle up for a wild ride of twists, takedowns, and sweet justice that'll leave you cheering. Jake, a 29-year-old software developer, felt a surge of excitement as he parked his car outside La Mar, a buzzing Miami restaurant known for its waterfront views and sky-high prices. 6 months into dating Maria, a 27-year-old influencer with a knack for turning heads, he was finally meeting her inner circle. To him, this was a milestone, a sign their relationship was getting serious. Maria had hyped it up all week. "My girls are dying to meet you, Jake. Just be yourself. They'll love you." Her words echoed in his mind as he adjusted his tie, a rare accessory for a guy who lived in hoodies and coded late into the night. He stepped into the restaurant, the hum of conversation and clinking glasses hitting him instantly. Maria waved him over to a table where 4 women were already seated, their laughter sharp and their drinks half empty. The spread was lavish. Platters of ceviche, oysters, and colorful cocktails dotted the table. Jake's stomach tightened. They'd started without him. Maria stood, her smile warm but fleeting, and introduced him. "Ladies, this is Jake. Jake, meet the squad. Sophia, Camila, Elena, and Luz." Each woman offered a nod or a quick wave, but their eyes lingered, sizing him up like a product on a shelf. Jake slid into his seat, trying to shake the unease. "Started early, huh?" he said, aiming for lighthearted. Sophia, a tall woman with a piercing stare, leaned forward. "Hope you don't mind. We were starving." Her tone was playful, but something about it felt rehearsed. Maria squeezed his hand under the table, a gesture that usually reassured him. Tonight, it didn't. The group dove back into chatter, gossip about a local influencer's drama, plans for a yacht party. But Jake felt like an outsider. His attempts at small talk met with polite smiles and quick subject changes. The conversation shifted when Camila, flipping her hair, asked, "So, Jake, what do you do?" He explained his role at a tech startup, building apps for small businesses. "It's steady, keeps me busy," he said, hoping to pivot to something else. But Elena jumped in. "Tech's where the money is, right? Bet you're rolling in it." Her laugh was light, but the question hung heavy. Jake shrugged. "Pays the bills, lets me save a bit." Their glances darted between each other, subtle but unmistakable. Sophia leaned back, sipping her drink. "Maria says you're a real catch. Hope you brought your A-game tonight." The table chuckled, but Jake caught a whisper from Sophia to Maria, barely audible over the restaurant's din. "Let's see if he's got the wallet for this." His pulse quickened. A joke? A jab? He brushed it off, focusing on the menu. Maria nudged him. "Order whatever you want, babe. Tonight's special." Her encouragement felt scripted, like she was playing a part. As the waiter circled back, the women ordered with abandon: stone crab claws, seared scallops, a bottle of top-shelf tequila. Jake stuck to a modest entree, his mind already tallying the cost. The vibe shifted further when Luz, scrolling her phone, showed the group a video of a luxury watch. "Jake, you ever splurge on stuff like this?" she asked, eyes gleaming. He shook his head. "Not really my thing. I'd rather invest than flash." The table fell quiet for a split second, Maria's grip on his hand tightening. Dinner unfolded, but the questions kept coming, each one sharper. "Where do you live, Jake? What car do you drive?" His answers, decent apartment, paid-off Toyota, drew quick looks among the group, like they were keeping score. Sophia smirked. "Maria, you said he was generous." The word landed like a challenge. Jake laughed it off, but his gut churned. This wasn't just dinner. It was an audition, and he wasn't sure what role he was playing. By the time dessert menus arrived, Jake's unease had grown into suspicion. Maria's friends ordered without hesitation, chocolate soufflés, more drinks, while Maria leaned close, whispering, "You're doing great, babe." But her phone, left face up on the table, lit up with a notification. Jake caught a glimpse before it faded, a text from Sophia. "He's cute, but is he paying cute?" His heart sank. This was no Meet the Friends dinner. It was a setup, and he was the mark. As Jake processed the text, a guy at the bar caught his eye, his coworker, Ryan, nursing a beer. Ryan raised an eyebrow, mouthing, "You okay?" Jake shook his head slightly, signaling trouble. Ryan had warned him about Maria's crowd weeks ago, mentioning a friend who'd been burned by a similar test. Jake hadn't listened then, but now, with the bill looming and the women's eyes on him, he realized he was walking into a trap. Jake sat at the table in Lamar, the Miami restaurant's lively chatter now a dull hum in his ears. The dinner with Maria's inner circle, Sophia, Camila, Elena, and Luz, had turned into a high-stakes performance, and he was center stage. The women's probing questions about his job, apartment, and car had already set him on edge, but the glimpse of Sophia's text on Maria's phone, "He's cute, but is he paying cute?" confirmed his suspicions. This wasn't a friendly meet and greet. It was a calculated move, and Jake was the target. The waiter circled back, balancing a tray of extravagant dishes, stone crab claws, seared scallops, and a glistening bottle of premium tequila the women had ordered without a second thought. Jake's modest ceviche sat untouched as he watched them dive in, their laughter sharp and performative. Maria leaned close, her hand brushing his arm. "You're quiet, babe. Everything okay?" Her voice was sweet, but her eyes darted to her friends, checking their reactions. Jake forced a smile, just taking it all in. His mind raced, piecing together the setup. Camila, swirling her drink, steered the conversation back to him. "So, Jake, ever take Maria somewhere fancy like this? To spoil her?" The question felt like a trap, her tone implying an expectation he hadn't agreed to. "We've had some great nights out," Jake said carefully, "but I'm more about experiences than splashing cash." Luz raised an eyebrow, exchanging a quick glance with Elena. "Experiences are cute, but a girl needs to feel special, The table giggled, but the subtext was clear. They were testing his willingness to spend. The orders kept coming. Sophia called for another round of cocktails, while Elena added a dessert platter, just because. Jake's mental math was spiraling, hundreds of dollars piling up with every carefree request. He glanced at Maria, hoping for a signal to slow things down, but she was engrossed in a story about a VIP club event, her friends hanging on her every word. His co-worker Ryan's warning from weeks ago echoed in his head. Maria's crew burned my buddy with a stunt like this. Watch yourself. Jake had shrugged it off then, but now it felt prophetic. The bill arrived, a leather folder placed dead center on the table. Silence fell as all eyes turned to Jake. Maria slid the folder toward him with a coy smile. "You've got this, right, babe? Show them how you treat me." Her words were light, but the weight behind them was unmistakable. Jake opened the folder, $1,500. His stomach dropped. This wasn't just dinner. It was a shakedown, and the whole table was in on it. He pulled out his credit card, playing along, and handed it to the waiter. The women relaxed, Sophia smirking as she sipped her drink. Minutes later, the waiter returned, his expression apologetic. "Sir, I'm sorry, but your card was declined." The table froze. Maria's smile vanished, her eyes narrowing. "What?" she hissed under her breath. Jake, keeping his cool, leaned back. "Oh, weird. I moved most of my funds to an investment account yesterday, better returns. Forgot to transfer some back." His tone was casual, but inside, he was testing them. The truth? He had plenty in his checking account, but Ryan's warning had prompted him to lock his card before dinner, a precaution that now felt like a lifeline. Sophia broke the silence, her voice dripping with disdain. "You don't have $1,500? Seriously?" Camila chimed in. "Maria, you said he was solid." Jake caught Maria's phone light up again. A new text from Sophia. "He's failing. Wrap it up." His blood boiled, but he kept his face neutral. "I've got about $200 in checking right now," he said, pulling out his phone to check his app for show. "Bank's closed, though. Maybe we can split it?" The suggestion landed like a grenade. Luz scoffed. "Split? That's not how this works." Maria's grip on his arm tightened, her nails digging in. The waiter, sensing the tension, offered, "I can split the bill 5 ways, if that helps." The women erupted in protests. "I didn't bring my card," Elena snapped. Maria said this was covered, Camila added, glaring at Jake. Maria's face was a mask of fury, but she forced a laugh. "Babe, fix this. You're embarrassing me." Jake leaned forward, his voice steady. "Embarrassing you? You invited me to meet your friends, and they ordered half the menu. What's going on here?" The table went quiet, the women exchanging panicked glances. As the argument simmered, Jake's phone buzzed with a text from Ryan, still watching from the bar. Get out now. I just overheard Sophia call you the mark to the bartender. Jake's heart raced. The confirmation hit hard. This wasn't just a test. It was a full-blown scam, and he was seconds away from being fleeced. But he wasn't about to let them win. The air at Lamar's table crackled with tension as Jake faced Maria and her friends, Sophia, Camila, Elena, and Luz. The $1,500 bill sat unpaid. Jake's card deliberately declined, as a precaution after his co-worker Ryan's warning. Maria's forced smile had crumbled, her voice sharp. Fix this, Jake. You're making me look bad. Her friends' protests, claiming they brought no cards, insisting Jake was supposed to cover the lavish dinner, confirmed his suspicions. This was no friendly gathering. It was a calculated hustle, and Jake was their target. He leaned back, his calm exterior masking the fury building inside. So, Maria, why didn't anyone else bring money to a place like this? His question cut through the table's murmurs. Sophia scoffed, tossing her phone down. Don't turn this on us. A real guy handles it. Jake's eyes flicked to Maria's phone, still glowing with Sophia's earlier text. He's failing. Wrap it up. The proof was right there. This dinner was a scripted test, and he'd been set up to foot the bill or face humiliation. Before Maria could respond, Jake's phone buzzed again. Ryan, watching from the bar, texted, Sophia just called you the mark to the bartender. Get out. The word mark hit like a punch. Jake's mind raced, connecting the dots. Maria's hype about meeting her squad, the extravagant orders, the probing questions about his finances. This was a scam, and Ryan's earlier warning about his friend's similar experience meant it wasn't their first rodeo. Jake stood, signaling the waiter. Hold off on splitting it. We need a moment. Maria grabbed his arm, her voice low but venomous. Outside. Now. The group watched as Jake followed her to the restaurant's patio, the Miami night air heavy with humidity. Away from her friends, Maria's charm vanished. What kind of man are you? I told them you were different, and you pull this broke boy stunt? Her words dripped with contempt. Jake kept his cool, crossing his arms. Broke? I have the money, Maria. It's in my investment account. What's broke is your friends ordering $1,500 in food and acting like I'm their ATM. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. You knew what this was. I said my girls are exclusive. You were supposed to impress them, show you can provide. Jake's jaw tightened. Provide? For 5 strangers? This was a test, wasn't it? Maria didn't flinch. Yeah, it was. And you bombed it. A real man pays. No whining. You humiliated me in there. Jake stepped closer, his voice steady. You humiliated yourself, Maria. You set me up to get fleeced, and now you're mad I didn't play along? Back inside, the chaos was visible through the glass. Camila was arguing with the waiter, who held the bill like a shield. Elena was on her phone, frantically typing, while Sophia gestured wildly. Luz, the quietest, stared at her plate, avoiding the scene. Jake caught Ryan's eye at the bar, who gave a subtle nod, urging him to keep pushing. Maria's voice rose. You think you're clever, locking your card? I had to use my own money to cover my share already. Fix this, or we're done. Jake's laugh was sharp. Done? You think I'm sticking around after this? You planned a shakedown and called it a date. Maria's face twisted, but before she could fire back, the waiter stepped outside. Sir, ma'am, we need to settle the bill. The manager's getting involved. Jake turned to Maria. Your friends ordered the food. They can figure it out. Her glare could have burned a hole through him, but she stormed back inside, leaving Jake alone on the patio. He pulled out his phone, opening Maria's Instagram. Her latest story, posted hours before dinner, screamed betrayal. Big night. Let's see if he's the real deal. #KnowYourWorth. The hashtag linked to posts about high-value women and men who prove themselves by paying. Jake's blood boiled, but a plan was forming. He wasn't just walking away, he'd expose this game. As he scrolled, a new notification popped up, a DM from an unknown account. Jake, I saw you at Lamar with Maria's crew. Been there. They did this to my brother. Want to talk? The DM was from Carla, a stranger who'd been at Lamar and recognized Maria's group from a similar scam they'd pulled on her brother months ago. She offered to share proof, a group chat screenshot where Maria bragged about testing guys with fake dinner dates. Jake realized Maria's crew wasn't just opportunistic. They were serial scammers with a playbook. Jake stood on Lamar's patio, the Miami skyline glittering across the water, but his focus was razor-sharp. Maria's betrayal had unraveled. The $1,500 dinner bill, her friend's calculated test, and the damning text from Sophia labeling him the mark confirmed this was a scam. Her furious outburst, calling him a broke boy for not paying, cemented her motives. The DM from Carla, a stranger who'd witnessed Maria's crew fleece her brother in a similar setup, lit a fire under Jake. Armed with her screenshot of Maria's group chat bragging about testing guys, he was ready to strike back. Back inside, the scene was pandemonium. Maria and her friends, Sophia, Camila, Elena, and Luz, huddled around the table, arguing over the unpaid bill. The waiter, now flanked by a stern-faced manager, repeated, "We need to settle this now." Camila snapped, "This is on Jake. He said he'd handle it." Jake, re-entering, shook his head. "I said I'd try. You ordered the feast. Pay your share." Maria's glare was venomous, but the manager's presence silenced her. Reluctantly, the women dug into purses, pulling out cards and cash, their unity fracturing under pressure. Jake slipped away to the bar, where Ryan, his co-worker, waited. "Told you they're trouble," Ryan said, sliding him a beer. "My buddy paid $1,200 for their last test before they ghosted him." Jake nodded, showing Ryan Carla's DM. The screenshot revealed Maria's group chat, Miami Queens, where they planned the dinner, shared Jake's job details, and mocked his cheap Toyota. One message from Maria stood out. "He's tech. Should be good for at least $2,000 before he cracks." Jake's jaw clenched. They're not getting away with this. That night, Jake dove into action. Using his coding skills, he built a website, Miami Date Scams. Calm, clean, and professional, to expose the scheme without doxing anyone. He uploaded Carla's screenshot, anonymized victim stories from Ryan's friend, and his own account of the Lamar setup. He scoured Maria's social media, finding TikTok videos where she coached women on vetting men by demanding lavish dinners. One clip boasted, "If he hesitates on the bill, he's not your guy." Next, Jake embedded the video, linking it to her Instagram handle, letting her own words damn her. Next, he contacted Lamar's manager, Vanessa, who was livid about the group's antics. "They've pulled this before," she said, complaining about food to get comps, running up tabs, then dodging payment. Jake shared his evidence, and Vanessa promised to escalate it to the restaurant's parent company, which owns 6 other upscale Miami venues. "We'll make sure they're flagged," she assured him. Jake felt a surge of satisfaction. This wasn't just about him anymore. The website launched quietly, but its impact was immediate. Carla, now an ally, shared it in a local women's dating group on Facebook. Within hours, 2 more victims reached out, their stories mirroring Jake's: expensive dinners, pressure to pay, and ghosting if they resisted. One, a lawyer named Diego, offered a bombshell. Maria had claimed the dinners as business expenses on her taxes, bragging about it in the group chat. "That's tax fraud," Diego said. "I can tip off the IRS anonymously." Jake agreed, sending Diego the relevant screenshots. By morning, Miami Date Scams. Com had 300 hits, fueled by a retweet from a local food blogger with 10,000 followers. Comments poured in. "This happened to my cousin. Saw these girls at another spot pulling the same game." Jake's inbox buzzed with messages from strangers thanking him for the warning. But the real blow came when Vanessa called. "Our parent company just banned Maria's crew from all our restaurants. We're calling them the Test Table Crew. Other places are catching on, too." As Jake celebrated the website's traction, he got a call from an unknown number. It was Luz, the quietest of Maria's friends, sounding shaken. "Jake, I'm sorry. I didn't want to go along with it, but Maria pressured us. She's done this to dozens of guys. I'll send you more proof if you keep my name out of it." Luz's betrayal of Maria was a game changer. She sent voice memos of Maria planning the scam, admitting it was a system to milk men for cash and status. Jake's takedown was gaining momentum. His website, Miami Date Scams.com, had exposed Maria's calculated dinner scam at Lamar, where she and her friends, Sophia, Camila, Elena, and Luz, tried to fleece him for a $1,500 bill. With evidence from Carla's group chat screenshot, Luz's incriminating voice memos, and victim testimonies, Jake had turned the tables. The site was now a local sensation, shared by a Miami food blogger and racking up thousands of views. Restaurants had banned Maria's crew, and an IRS tip about her fraudulent business expense claims was in motion. Jake was ready to close this chapter. The fallout hit Maria hard. Her job hunt, already shaky as a freelance influencer, collapsed when 2 marketing firms dropped her from final interviews. A quick Google search of her name now surfaced Miami date scams. Com as a top result, its screenshots and videos painting her as the ringleader of a dating hustle. Jake got a ping from Diego, the lawyer who'd tipped off the IRS. "They're auditing her," Diego texted. "She claimed $8,000 in business dinners last year. They're demanding $3,000 in back taxes, plus penalties." Jake grinned. Maria's own greed had trapped her. Meanwhile, the Miami Queens group imploded. Luz's voice memos, sent to Jake with a promise of anonymity, revealed Maria's bullying tactics, pressuring her friends to join the scams or face exclusion. When the restaurant ban spread, 7 upscale Miami venues now blacklisted the test table crew. Sophia turned on Maria, leaking their chat history to a local gossip page. "Maria made us do it," Sophia posted, trying to dodge blame. Camila fired back online, accusing Sophia of planning half the dinners. Elena stayed silent, but Luz, guilt-ridden, quit the group entirely, texting Jake, "I'm done with them. Thanks for exposing this." The local dating scene buzzed with the scandal. A Facebook group, Miami Dating Watch, sprang up, with 500 members swapping stories about similar scams. One post shared a photo of Maria at a new restaurant, only for the manager to confirm they'd turned her away, citing the blacklist. Jake's website became a go-to resource, with men messaging him gratitude. "Dodged a bullet because of you, bro." A woman named Anna reached out, saying her ex fell for Maria's game a year ago, losing $2,000 before being ghosted. "You're a hero," she wrote. Jake, ready to move on, met Emma at a coding meetup. Over coffee, she insisted on paying her share. "I date for connection, not cash," she said, her bluntness a stark contrast to Maria's schemes. Their first dinner was at a low-key taco joint, where Emma laughed and split the $30 check. "No tests here," she teased, making Jake smile. The contrast was refreshing. He felt free, no longer a mark in someone else's game. Maria, desperate to salvage her image, posted a tearful Instagram video, claiming she was a victim of online harassment and financial abuse. She spun a tale of being targeted for being a strong woman. The comments tore her apart. "You targeted guys for free meals, girl. This you?" With links to her own TikTok tutorials on vetting men with expensive dinners. The video backfired, becoming a meme on local Twitter, with captions like, "Crying over crab claws?" Maria's follower count plummeted, and she was spotted working at a beachfront kiosk, selling sunglasses to tourists. The final blow came when Jake got an email from the IRS, confirming they'd acted on his tip. Maria faced a $4,200 bill after penalties, forcing her to sell her designer purses on a resale app. Her last attempt at revenge, a Venmo request for $500, labeled emotional damages, earned a screenshot reply from Jake, her own TikTok saying, "Know your worth. Never settle for less." She blocked him within minutes. A week later, Jake got a call from Vanessa, Lamar's manager. "You started something big," she said. Her restaurant group had partnered with others to create a citywide alert system for scam groups like Maria's, sharing names and photos among managers. "We've already stopped 3 copycat crews," she added. Jake's website had sparked a movement, protecting countless others from falling prey.